The house stood at the end of the road like a rotting corpse, a vacant eye staring out over the overgrown lawn. It was massive, an old Victorian mansion that seemed to mock the small, modest homes around it. In its prime, it would have been beautiful, but years of neglect had turned it into a ruin, the paint peeling away from its gables like scabs. My friend Mike had dared us all to spend the night in that house, and not just any night, but tonight, Halloween. He claimed it was haunted, and if we could survive until sunrise, he'd give us each $50. Why do we need to stay until sunrise? Asked Lucy. Can't we just, hang out for a bit and then leave before dark? That's no fun, Mike said with a shrug. Besides, my dad said we couldn't leave until sunrise anyway. I sighed. Mike's dad owned the house, or at least he used to. Now it looked like a cracked inn, or a place where sickos went to harvest human skin for leather. My curiosity about what secrets the house held was quickly being replaced by a desire to get out of there before something crawled out of the walls and tried to crawl up my throat. We approached the house cautiously. There were broken window panes set deep in their sockets, staring out like empty eyes. The front door hung off its hinges, swaying gently in the breeze. As we got closer, I could hear what sounded like screams in the wind, and I realized it wasn't the wind. It was coming from inside the house. We stood on the porch for a while, listening to whatever the hell was going on inside. Finally, Mike pushed the door open and stepped inside. You guys coming? He yelled over his shoulder. Yeah, I called back, following him into the house. The entryway was dim, the only light filtering in through cracks in the boarded-up windows. As our eyes adjusted to the gloom, we could see more clearly. The wallpaper was a sickening shade of puke green. Cobwebs hung from the corners, and a thick layer of dust covered everything. I imagined how much work it must have taken to accumulate that much dust. Clearly, this place hadn't been cleaned in decades. We made our way deeper into the house, searching for somewhere to hide from whatever lurked in the darkness. The living room was relatively intact. The furniture was all there, a testament to whoever had lived here and then vanished. There was a piano in the corner, its keys yellowed and sticky. A gramophone sat on a side table next to a pile of decaying sheet music. A fireplace dominated one wall, its mantelpiece adorned with tarnished candlesticks, and a pair of porcelain cats with vacant stares. Who lived here? Lucy whispered, her voice echoing strangely in the cavernous room. No one answered. We spent the night hiding in the pantry of that house. We didn't want to stay in one place too long, so every half hour or so, we'd move to a new room, always keeping an ear out for the scratching and screaming. Around midnight, we heard footsteps in the hallway outside the pantry. They were slow and heavy, dragging. Whatever was making them was moving from room to room, seemingly at random, sometimes stopping to bang against the wall, then continuing on. In the morning, after, of course, realizing it wasn't the cops, Mike opened the pantry door and cautiously stepped out. The coast was clear. We all filed out one by one, keeping low to avoid the dust which swirled around our feet like a miniature tornado. As I emerged from the pantry, I saw something strange on the floor in front of me. At first, I thought it was a rug, but as I got closer, I saw that it was a collection of hundreds, maybe thousands of tiny pebbles. They were smooth and gray and formed a path directly from the pantry door to the front door. What the hell? I whispered, reaching down to pick one up. It was warm. Mike shrugged. It's the hell out of me. We followed the path of pebbles out of the house and into the cold, harsh light of day. The house looked even more sinister in the daylight. We stared at it for a moment, trying to figure out where to go next. I guess we're done here, Mike said finally. And that was when we heard the sound again, the dragging footsteps. They were coming from inside the house. We watched in horror as the front door slowly opened and a figure emerged. It was tall and thin, with long, spindly arms that dragged on the ground. Its head was bent so far forward that we couldn't see its face. It shuffled closer and closer, never taking its eyes off us. We screamed and ran. We didn't dare look back. We didn't dare see what was chasing us. I could hear Mike behind me, his voice high with fear. It's getting closer, he yelled. I think it can smell us. I didn't need to be told twice. I didn't know how fast I could run, but I knew I had to try. I burst through the trees, branches whipping at my face, thorns tearing at my clothes. Behind me, the creature let out a horrible screech, then silence. I stopped running, leaning against a tree, my chest heaving, trying to control my breathing. I didn't dare turn around, but I could still hear the creature in the house. It was making a terrible racket, banging against the walls, scratching at the windows. Then I heard a noise behind me. Footsteps. Heavy, dragging footsteps. I turned slowly to see the creature shambling toward me. It was even more grotesque up close. Its skin was stretched tight over its bones, its eyes bulging and black. Its mouth was a gaping void filled with sharp, uneven teeth. It took a step closer, then another, its arms dragging along the ground. I screamed and turned to run, but it was too late. The creature was upon me in an instant. Its claws raked across my face, sending blood trickling down my cheeks. It knocked me to the ground and stood over me, its hot, fetid breath washing over my face. I could feel its claws digging into my shoulders, its weight pressing down on me, crushing me. I struggled, but it was no use. The creature was too strong. It lifted me off the ground and carried me back to the house, its grip tightening around me. I kicked and clawed at its back, but it didn't seem to care. It kept walking toward the house, its footsteps echoing in the twilight. It threw me to the ground at the foot of the stairs leading up to the house. Then it climbed the stairs, disappearing inside. I lay on the ground, my body aching, my mind reeling. What had that thing been? Where did it come from? Why did it want to kill me? I didn't have the answers, but I knew one thing. I didn't want to find out more. With trembling hands, I pulled myself to my feet and walked away from the house as fast as I could. I didn't dare look back, but I could hear the creature pacing inside the house, waiting for me to come back. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the lawn, I knew one thing. I would never escape the house on the hill.